Welcome to Easy Economics. Today I am discussing about the second year topic, that is Unit 1, Economic Growth and Economic Development. In this unit, we are going to study about the meaning of the economic growth and development and the differences between two of them and the indicators of economic development and factors promoting economic development and the features of developing countries all are studied in the first unit. So this is the first topic in this unit. So now I am explaining the meaning of the economic growth and what are the essential conditions of the economic growth. First of all, what is economic growth and what is the economic development? Generally, children, as an individual, we also aims to become a doctor, to become a chartered accountant, to become a lawyer, like that. We dreams, we aims, like that. Each and every country also dreams to reach the economic growth and economic development. So, nearly in first year you studied that is the wealth definition is given by Adam Smith. Adam Smith also concentrated on the economic growth. He also discussed regarding the economic growth. In 18th century, he discussed about the economic growth. So these are the concepts are attracting the economists more and more. But generally, children, that is prior to the Second World War, all the economists are concentrated on the issues of the Western countries in the world. But after the Second World War, all the economists are started concentrating on the issues of the developing countries. Generally, economic growth is a related concept to the developed country and economic development is a related concept to the developing countries in the world. India is a developing country, so it is a development concept is related to India also. Up to 1960s, all thought that both economic growth and economic development both are the same concepts. There is no difference in between two of them. For example, Shah Rukh Khan and Amir Khan. What we say is S2R belongs to the actors family. Two are the actors, belongs to same category. But actually, individually their qualities differ. Okay, their dialogue delivery, their facial expressions, their dancing style, all will differ. So like that here also, economic growth and development are the macroeconomic concepts, but conceptually they differ from each other. So in this way, after 1960s, economists found the difference between the two concepts. Okay, now they are discussed as different concepts, but they are depending upon the other definitely, but their definition differs. Okay, first of all, what is the economic growth? Economic growth is a concept related to developed countries in the world. Already, children, you know that based on per capita income, the countries in the world are classified into two types, developed and developing. So, growth is a related concept to the developed countries in the world. So, belongs to economic growth. So many economists are given the different definitions. So, according to Kindleberger, economic growth means more output. So according to him, economic growth means more output. If the country is producing more goods and generating more services, it is nothing but the economic growth according to Kindleberger. So to produce more output, what are needed? Skilled labor force, modern machinery, sophisticated technology and improved communication, transportation facilities. So all are needed to produce the more output. So many things are needed. So improved techniques are needed to produce more output. Okay. So and to means it is a quantitative concept. Output is expressed in the form of the units. Okay. We are measuring the output in the units. So here, whenever growth is studying about the quantity, that is more output. So then it is called means it is studying about the quantity of the output. So that is the reason it is called the quantitative concept. And also economic growth studies only, that is only increase in the output. So that is the reason it is also called single phenomenal, means single dimensional phenomena. So it means only it is studying about the change in the, that is rise in the output only. So other elements are not included in the economic growth. It only concentrates on the increase in the output only. So in this way, to increase the output, to get more output, the country is needed the quality labor force, skilled labor force, and sophisticated technology, modern machinery, and the improved infrastructure. Next, Michael P. Todaro also defined economic growth as it is a steady process. Steady means continuous process. As children, production is a continuous process. Why? Because to satisfy our endless needs, continuously we are engaging in the economic activities. So it is endless effort by the human beings. So it is a steady process, means a flow process. Continuously economies are going on producing the output. So without affecting by any element, if the economy is producing the goods, and if more goods are produced over a time, it results a rise in the level of output. As still more goods are produced, so our national income increases, national output increases. So what is the meaning of the national income? National income is nothing but the final value of the goods and services produced in a country in a given period of time is called the national income. So if more output is produced, definitely national output increases or national income increases. Okay, why? Because to measure the national income, the market prices of the commodities are multiplied with their quantity. So by summing all the values of all the goods from the three sectors, we will get the national income. So if more output is produced, definitely it leads to rise in the national income. And some of the economics also defined economic growth as it is nothing but the increase in the real per capita or real national income. Children, already I explained about the national output and national income. So what is the real national income? Okay, so what is called the real national income? Real national income means a year's national income. For example, children, 2000 real national income means 2019-20 years national income. That is the goods and services produced in this year, in this financial year, or by using the same year's price index or same year's prices, general prices, it is called national income at current prices or national income at market prices. So what is the real national income? So real national income means whenever the 2019-20 years national income, the value of the final value of goods and services produced in the 2019-20 year are estimated by using the base year's price index, that is called the real national income. So what is called the base year? What is called the base year? From the independence onwards, the government took so many years as the base years. Generally, year is taken as the base year in a year where there are no floods, no droughts, and the general price level also will be moderate. There are no fluctuations in the year, in the economic activities also. That year is taken as the base year. So presently 2011-12 is the base year. So where the price level is moderate, there are no fluctuations, no droughts, no floods. The price level is moderate, that year is taken as the base year. So here, whenever 2019-20 years national income is estimated by using 2011-12 years price index, that is called the real national income. So it is also called national income at constant prices. So always comparing to national income at current prices, real national income or national income at constant prices will give the real picture of the economy or explains the real growth of the economy. And children, Economic growth is a narrow concept than the economic development, and it is also a short-term process. Why? Because national income is estimated only in a year. Okay, in a year we will estimate the national, in a financial year we will estimate the national income, that is value of the final value of the goods and services which are produced in a country. Okay, so that is the reason it is a short-term process. Growth is estimated in a year, and also it is a quantitative concept only. It measures the rise in the output, that is only quantity only. And next one, it is a single dimensional phenomena. Whenever it is studying only about the rise in the output, so it is concentrating only on the single element, and it is related to developed countries in the world. Next one, what are the essentials of economic growth? So to reach the economic growth, what are the essential conditions? The first one is increase in real per capita than the rate of growth of population. Definitely, it is essential condition to reach the economic growth. Why? Because if national income is increasing, so with the national income, population also increasing, then per capita will fall. So there is no use of the rise in the national income at that time. If population also increasing the higher rate than the national income, definitely per capita income will fall. Why? Because by dividing the national income with the total population of the country, we will get the per capita. And here they are using the phrase that is real per capita. So by dividing the real national income with the total population of the country, we will get the real per capita. Okay, which reflects that is real growth of the economy, actual growth of the economy. So here, increase in the real per capita is more than the growth of population is needed to reach the growth. So it means population growth will be whenever the country is controlling the population growth and it is increasing its national income, definitely per capita income will rise than the growth rate in the population. Okay, always it is desirable, that is growth rate in per capita income more than the growth rate of the population. It is a desirable situation in all the countries, but in our India, population is growing more than the per capita income. Okay, to reach the growth, the first essential is increase in real per capita comparing to rate of the growth of the population is needed to reach the growth. Otherwise, growth is not possible. Next one, large increase in the productive ability of the economy. Yes, how the productive ability of the economy increases? Definitely with the help of the, already we discussed in the first definition, with the help of the skilled labor, quality labor force, modern machinery and sophisticated technology and improved infrastructure. Infrastructure means which is essential to develop the economy, the conditions, the things which are essential, communication, transportation, healthcare, educational facilities, all are which are needed, electricity, warehousing, banking, insurance sector, all are regarded as the infrastructure. Okay, when the improved infrastructure is available to the country, definitely if it is able to build the improved infrastructure, definitely the productivity of the economy will be improved. Whenever the productivity of the economy is improving, definitely national income will increases and it is called the economic growth. Increase in national income is regarded as the economic growth. Okay, these two are the essentials of the economic growth. That is the conditions. When these two are satisfied, it is possible to the country to reach the growth situation. And next one, economic growth is influenced by four elements. In short run, two elements will influence the economic growth, and in long run, two elements influence the economic growth. Okay, it is influenced by four things mainly. So in short run, economic growth is influenced by rate of savings of the economy. As children, why? Because our savings are converted in the form of the investment. First of all, to save the money, the people must get the incomes. If the people are getting employment, then they will get the incomes, and after meeting their consumption needs, they are able to save the money. Whenever people are saving the money, then their savings are mobilized by the banks and other financial institutions, and the banks will lend the loans to the needy sections in the society. So our savings are converted in the form of the investment. So higher the savings, higher the investment in the economy. If investment is more, production will be improved, means production will increase. So that is the reason to reach the growth, the rate of savings of the economy are needed. Okay, why? Because savings are means influencing the investment. These are the main source to the investment. Our savings are the main source to the investment. Our savings are converted in the form of the investment in the primary, secondary and tertiary sectors. And next one, capital output ratio. So it is nothing but it is also called ICOR, incremental capital output ratio. So it explains the relation between the capital and the output. Then the stock of the capital is divided by the output. So that is also called the capital output ratio. Children, if the capital output ratio is like this, 1:4. So here it indicates that by using 1 unit of capital, the economy is producing 4 units of output. So it is the desirable capital output ratio. Why? Because by using the less amount of capital, capital is in the form of machinery, tools, equipment, or in the form of money, whatever it may be. Okay, it is called the capital. Okay, so by using 1 unit of capital, if an economy is producing 4 units of output, so it is a desirable ICOR. Mostly in all the developed countries, we can find this type of incremental capital output ratio. Okay, if ICOR, that is capital output ratio, is like this, definitely the country will reach the growth. In our India, it is 2:4 now. That is, by using 2 units of capital, we are producing 4 units of the output. Okay, so the 2:4 ratio, whenever it changes into 1:4, definitely it is possible to us to reach the high level of growth. Okay, children. So in the short run, the economic growth is influenced by the 2 things. They are rate of savings of the economy. Okay, savings already you know after meeting our consumption needs. For example, if I am getting 50,000 per month, okay, 30,000 I will spend for my consumption family needs, and 20,000 I put in the form of the savings. Okay, my savings are collected by the banks, and banks lend the loans to the needy sections. So those who are getting the loans from the banks, they will invest in their business. If he is a farmer, he will invest in the that is farm. Like that, our savings are converted in the form of the investments. So next one, capital output ratio. It also decides the productive capacity of the economy. And in the long run, economic growth is influenced by the rate of growth of labor force. So in the population, we can find in the entire population, we can find the generally 3 categories: children below 15 years, and old age after 60 years, and the labor force. Above 15, below 60 years age group population are called the labor force. Why? Because they are able to do the work. They are able to engage in the productive activity. Okay, any country, if the quality labor force are there and skilled labor force are there, so they, with the help of the quality labor force or more amount of labor force, it is possible to the country to produce more and more goods. Why? Because labor force are needed to produce the goods. In the production process, labor force are used. Okay, if you are using the machinery also, to operate the machinery, labor is needed. Mostly in most of the industries, of course, now they are using capital intensive methods, and also in so many small scale industries and cottage industries, there is a need of the labor force. Definitely, quality labor force will decide the productive capacity of the economy. Okay, so rate of growth of labor force, that is the amount of population in between the age group of above 15 and below 60 are needed to improve the productive capacity of the economy. In India, the labor force are available in plenty amounts. Next one, rate of growth of technological progress. Yes, children, with the help of the modern technology, it is possible to produce high quantity of the goods with the lesser cost. Already it is nothing but we can find the result of the technology in the industrial revolution. At the end of the 19th century, industrial revolution broke out in England. So it is nothing but by using machinery, goods are produced at that time. Later it spread to all the countries in the world. So now most of all the countries are using the machinery to produce the goods. So if the modern machinery is used, modern technology is used in the production of the goods, it reduces the cost and improves the quality of the output, and it results the profits to the country, and also output will increase more and more, and there is a possibility to export to the other countries and to earn foreign exchange. There is a chance to earn the foreign exchange also. Okay, children? So these are the things which influence the economic growth in short run and as well as in the long run. And if a country is producing more goods and generating more services, definitely it is called economic growth. But with the rise in the economic growth, that is with the rise in the national income, if population also increases, so at that time there is we can find the fall in the per capita income. So means high growth rate of population results fall in the per capita income, and the fruits of the growth are not available to all the sections of the people at that time. So that is the reason it is means a desirable thing, that is to control the population growth. To reach either growth or development, there is a need to control the population growth in any of the country. Mostly in case of India, it is a burning problem now, population growth. Okay, so the government also trying to control the population growth. Okay, children, in next video I will explain the concept of economic development and the differences between two of them. Children, if you like this video, do like, subscribe and share it, and press the bell icon. Whenever I uploaded a video, you will get the immediate notification.